She said, "You don't want to see me when I'm angry? Forget the Hulk." Oh, God, no, no, not today, Satan. No. Oh, hell no. Hey guys, it's your girl Laisha, aka GeekXX Chic, and we are back with another reaction to X-Men 97. We're now on to episode 7, which is called Bright Eyes. Turn around, bright eyes. That was so off key. My God, let's just strike that from the record. The song just came into my head. Anyways, we're gonna focus. Last episode, we had the rebirth, the second coming of Storm. Yes, finally, she figured out the key to healing herself after what happened at the UN a few episodes back. She thought it was all about the gun. And of course, the gun definitely had its effects, but really through some, shall we say, emotional and psychological work with the help of a weird owl demon, she was able to realize the only thing holding her back was her. And when she let go of all of those fears and some of the, it looks like a little bit of I don't want to say loathing, but she definitely had some esteem issues. But once she kind of worked all that out and realized that, listen, she was born to be what she is. She loves being a mutant. She loves being a goddess, all that stuff. She came back, and not only she came back, she came back bigger and better than ever, letting everyone know, I'm Omega, baby. Just in case you forgot, I've got these powers. So she managed to get herself and her powers back under control. She helped Forge get healed up. And then they found out about what happened at Genosha, because of course they were outside of the loop while they were dealing with all of that nonsense. And then on the other side, we found out what happened with Professor X all this time. Where was he? Everyone on Earth believed that he was gone, but in truth, he had been whisked away to another galaxy where he had been healed up, and then he fell in love with one of the Shi'ar, the Shi'ar leader. And basically he was about to get married and start a whole new life there. But then we see that because of a conspiracy plot within that empire, they tried to get his entire mind wiped and his connection and what would you call it, loyalty to Earth. They wanted that to be pulled back, but we see that in the process of him trying to educate the Shi'ar on how messed up their whole society is, I mean, reflecting a lot of what we have here on Earth, he then also became aware of what happened at Genosha, and he realized, yeah, there's no way I can give up on Earth and my X-Men. So it looks like he's effectively broken up with his girl, and he's asked her to return him back to his Milky Way ghetto. So that's where we ended things, and I'm excited to get into this one and see where we're going. I'm seeing Rogue in the thumbnail. I'm wondering how she's doing, because she took a real loss in that whole situation. I mean, everyone did, but both the men that she loved gone in one shot. So, well, I say gone, but you already heard my theory on Magneto in the last episode. So that's enough jibber jabber. Let's get into the episode. But just before I do, a reminder that if you'd like to be notified of when I do uploads to this or anything else that you're watching of mine, please go ahead, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Be in the know, join the fam. Thank you so much for everybody who's been supporting me and all these comments and interaction. I love it very, very much, and I appreciate it so, so much. All right, that out of the way, let's get into the episode right now. You know what time it is. Get warmed up, limber up, stretch. Seeing Wolverine in that costume after watching the preview for Deadpool recently hits different. Oh, more Shi'ar, or the Shi'ar, more of them. That's new. Love it. Okay, only one new scene, and it was of, well, two. Instead of Charles making out with his fiance, she looks like she's pushing a button of doom. Oh, this is, oh, no, 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 no. Why? Ow. Which gene is that?
He seemed so blind to his, haunted by the life of bayou crime into which he was born. A sinner beyond saving. I think he was bluffing.
Let's hope so.
Every gambler has a tell.
True.
Modesty was Gambit's.
That's true. With what people have told me recently about Gambit's power and the fact that he actually nerfed himself. Damn.
How could she not be here? He saved all of us. He saved her.
Rogue, yeah.
Grief's a lonely war. Rogue's gotta figure it out on her own.
Another bar.
What she battles is not mere grief. And our dear Jubilee is wise to be afraid.
It's true. That was no joke with attack them there. What you doing there other than wrecking the sound barrier, sis?
This is a top secret United States facility.
Apparently not, because she found it. Alright, well, she's not talking. I get it, though. A lot of people deal with grief through the anger phase, you know? Let's break some stuff. Hurt some people. Then I don't have to feel. Sadly, it's not going to bring him back, sis.
Need I remind you that we're standing in the same place built to hold the Hulk? Our intruder is an unhinged mutant from the swamp. She ain't no...
Yeah, keep talking.
Daddy always used to say breaking into prison was easier than breaking out.
It's true.
Thought your kind were the good guys.
You killed those, Sugar. Now, you get me.
She said you don't want to see me when I'm angry. Forget the Hulk.
Folks are frightened. They think Dr. Trask just kicked off an all-out war between humans and mutants. And if scared voters see me helping your kind... Sorry, son.
Right. Your kind and then son in the same sentence.
I'm playing politics here to ensure someone less kind to your cause doesn't end up in the office you're so quick to disrespect.
Oh, please.
I got too comfortable. Never again.
No one could have seen this coming.
Magneto
Well,
did. He
yeah.
warned us repeatedly.
So did Cable.
Right now, we have to be strong. For the team. For every mutant still out there who's watching these images. They need hope.
What are we going to do about those images of Rogue destroying a base?
Jean and I can handle it. Rest of you go show humanity that the X-Men are here to stay.
All right. So saith the king.
Everyone wants to be a survivor, but when you actually see one fresh off the belt, survivor is the last thing I'd want to be.
Aftermath is never pretty.
Walk with me. Would you like that?
Please.
Okay. She said no time like the present. Uh-oh, Cap? Seriously?
Stand down, Rogue. Please.
Where's Henry Gyrick?
Who's stronger?
But rampaging across the country dishonors those who were lost
Skip the hogwash.
Right, she's not really about the speeches right now.
by some covert division in the UN. Black Book. So secret.
They love telling you about it, huh?
No. These sorts don't talk. Ever.
But we saw Sinister had him, or so we thought.
Almost like they knew someone was on the hunt for Gyrick.
OZT.
Yeah, you know me.
I was able to hack the servers here. Gyrick was transferred to a facility in Mexico City.
He can hack?
Once I get the thumbs up, I'll lead my team to Mexico to apprehend Gyrick.
Apprehend?
This uniform shows up in Mexico bashing heads in with you. It sends a message.
Damn right that you stand with mutants. Unless you don't now.
Gotta do this by the book, Rogue. Right now, my hands are tied.
Always. Unless, of course, it was Bucky.
Right, you won't be needing this.
That was petty, but I appreciate it. I mean, come on. If it was Bucky, you'd be just as irrational.
What if we'd been here, huh? What if you were here? The call she gets, not getting what the cops are saying, something about an attack, her son, mutants, dancing.
Look what happens when we don't hide.
Oh, that's what fixes it. Okay.
I wouldn't want my parents finding out who I was on the 5 o'clock news. Don't want them burying a stranger.
Will you come with me?
Duh.
All right. She's not wrong, though. Like, it's not the kind of thing you can keep secret forever. They might judge you, but you should find out first.
Riots are the language of the unheard.
Martin Luther King.
Better quote.
Normal people won't accept mutants if they feel threatened. That fear is the whole issue.
Okay.
And begging for your tolerance
Was our first mistake, exactly.
Hank, no, that's not what I was saying.
But
Kind
it is
of.
what you mean. That is the issue.
Right?
As was your reporting outside my home while my friends were dying. Now forgive me. I dare not waste any more of your tolerance, Miss Tilby.
People gotta understand. Why is it always the oppressed job to make everybody else comfortable? Like, what did they do? They did nothing to earn your fear in the first place.
This ain't no jail. This is a damn resort.
Man, if this is jail, I need to find some crime to commit. Guys, wow.
What's OZT anyway?
Let's just say you freaks aren't the only ones making friends in high places. Tell Summers his wife's cute psychic probes won't work this time.
Honey, this ain't that sort of probe.
Yeah, you don't know what she does, do you? Oh, damn. Yeah, I forgot that there was something that she saw. Maybe we don't want to be probing around in there, Rogue.
So many last thoughts, unfulfilled dreams. I told you, this isn't your fault.
No, for how complicated things got between us.
For psychically cheating?
Different than when I died in that shuttle crash? Or when I sacrificed myself to the sun or Dark Phoenix?
She's like, really, there's no simple for us at all.
Someone up ahead. A telepath.
Madeline.
Is it her or is it Frost? Yeah. Diamond skin, baby.
Diamond transmutation has never been one of Emma's abilities. Perhaps a dormant mutation triggered by duress?
I've always done well.
Under pressure. Like a diamond? There. You still have a gene.
Sinister promised to help me get my life back. He didn't say it'd be a mutant massacre.
Why would we possibly believe a murdering
Right,
maniac?
give us a reason.
Note this. The lobby vending machine is never out of diet. Come see the horrifying face of your future.
I mean, I don't think you have much of a choice.
Trask created Master Mold,
He did.
i.e. all of this is literally his fault,
It
i.e.
is.
we can't trust him.
Maybe not. But do we have a choice?
Really is Stranger Days.
Buckle up, team.
Yep, we're going. Meanwhile, the teens are off to have a little chat with Mom and Pa.
We go in, charm with small talk, and
I'm a mutant.
Basically, I'd say just rip it off like a Band-Aid. Drinking in the day. My kind of lady.
Baby, 4 of our homes have caught fire mysteriously since you turned 16.
You knew. Why didn't you say anything?
Because they're waiting for you to say something?
A mother knows, Roberto.
Right? It's all that fuss for nothing.
Now the trick will be making sure we keep this all private.
Why?
wait, what now?
What do you mean? Keep it private.
Should have known it was going too well.
Shareholders are rattled by anything
Oh yeah, right now.
related, especially after this awfulness in Genosha. We'll have to discuss some new rules concerning your associations and how to be more discreet.
Oh, she just said you're about to be a side chick, Jubilee. Buckle up.
Well, bit of a headache, but I'll live.
What's going on here? This Day of the Dead? We in Mexico?
You sure pulled the short straw in the adopted sister department, didn't you?
Not at all.
Got the gal who goes bonkers over losing a boy.
That's not even crazy yet, sis. This is mild.
But she did not cause Gambit or Magneto to be killed.
Magneto's not dead, man.
She helped them live.
Good man, Kurt. She needed a friend. They're like, hey, what's up? You done breaking things? Can we go? What? Who?
Yet you nearly ruined my surprise.
All right, goodbye to you. I'm confused. Who was that? I'm gonna have to go back and watch that after because I don't understand who he was. That was who Rogue touched, right?
Uber secret break room behind a busted vending machine. A game, bad guy. A game.
You're gonna drink that? I wouldn't trust anything in there.
Since when did the United Nations house classified cybernetics facilities?
I mean, probably since forever.
OZT.
OZT?
Yeah, you know me.
Maybe we ask poor man's Oppenheimer before he...
All right.
I made the Sentinels to protect normal people. Now I am become dead.
Dramatic. To the point.
What about Mr. Sinister?
That madman is one of the most brilliant engineers in history.
Sadly true.
He said my designs were...
Not cute.
Technology in these cases is light years ahead of ours today. How could he even obtain such access?
How could he indeed? Maybe from the future?
Easy.
Yeah, you do know when if they can fly.
Want redemption? Help us get the real bad.
Yeah, don't get to quit.
I'm sorry. I have nothing.
Is he gonna slip out of that jacket?
Same sugar.
I'm not against it. Why are you looking shocked? Weren't you about to jump?
Vogue, what have you done?
He fell.
What we all wanted to do.
Right, thank you. I knew Wolvie would understand.
That rotten piece of scum put a good man, my man.
Terminate.
What? That wasn't her, was it? Huh? Oh God, no, no, not today, Satan. No. Oh hell no.
What in the name of all heaven?
There's nothing to do with heaven.
Trask has mutated into some sort of
Human sentinel.
Prime Sentinel Protocol activated. Terminate mutants.
Right. Respectfully, Rogue, that's your fault.
Fiend, you get the building. I'll get the debris.
Okay, Jane. Queen stuff. R.I.P. to the river, though. Prime Bolivar.
Can't pull our punches. X-Men, take him down.
Maybe try to get to the part of his mind that's still in there. Wait, where did Quicksilver come from? Oh, yeah, I forgot. Morph, I keep forgetting. Guys, I'm pretty sure that he created them to fight you guys specifically. Why are you going after him physically?
Stay down!
Scott, you're gonna have to not don't hold back.
Tell me, orphan, how does it feel to be abandoned by the future?
What was that? EMP? Cable! Cable?
Electromagnetic cluster grenades are the quickest way to take these suckers down.
Thank you.
Cable? What the hell are you doing?
Hey, Dad.
No. All along. It can't be.
Get out of my brain. You're not her.
Oh.
Nathan.
Let's skip the reunion, Dad.
Why are you so mad?
Sinister's working for someone else, someone worse.
Oh, God.
There won't be much of a future worth living in.
Trask was a rough draft, and his tussle with the gene freaks gave us invaluable tactical data for my real masterpiece.
Which is?
You and the villains of old have been failing since '92 to squash these pests.
You say it's like it's so long ago.
Yet unlike the rest of you, I evolved.
Did you? Who are you?
The Shi'ar.
And our empire shall welcome a new emperor.
Damn, not the enemy knowing that Professor X is alive before everyone else.
Gyrick killed Xavier.
Our merry band of muties have been selling the world a very big lie.
They don't know. It's not fair.
And so have I.
Knew it. I think we all knew he wasn't dead.
Softens follicles, opens pores, makes the flesh pliable.
Oh, please tell me you're just shaving him.
So long as you stay still. So long as you don't resist. Simply listen and obey.
Yeah, that's not Magneto's way. Who the hell are you? Yep, that was absolutely creepy and terrifying. Good job, show. What the actual crap? Is there more? How are these credits so long? Okay. All right, just double checking, triple checking. Okay, guys. Welp. That was a hell of an episode. Once again, this kind of reminds me of like their earlier episodes where we have like a lot. Actually, it's almost like the one a couple episodes ago with the Genosha attack where so much is coming in. It's so much to take in, but still amazing. Key points to take away here. Obviously, Charles is possibly still en route. I guess he's pretty far away. I was like, why is he not here yet? I really expected him to show up here, but at this point, it's fine. We see this episode was about the aftermath, really, the picking up the pieces. We're seeing that the authorities are no longer lending their aid to help look for survivors because they're like, well, it's been so many days, we haven't found anybody, like we gotta move on. And seeing Scott's frustration, he's like, is it really because this is hopeless, or is it, because it's expensive, or is it because it's mutants that are who you're looking for and it's not humans? And the politics coming in, this is something we all know, that this show reflects real life and things that have happened in real life in different parts of the world when these types of things happen. And you've got people who maybe are not considered to be a group that people necessarily work hard to protect, or if it's a group that's oppressed. Historically, the powers that be have not worked hard to support their efforts when it comes to bad things happening. I don't need to get into examples. I'm sure people know. If you don't know, do your history, do some Googling, you'll find the information you need. But anyway, super sad, but we see that the X-Men at the very least want to do what they can and show that they are in solidarity with other mutants. And this is important because we know that the X-Men have always preached Charles' tenets around humans and mutants being able to coexist peacefully. But if they don't show up or they're not helping out the mutants, then it's going to fuel this idea. Because obviously there's some mutants like Magneto was before, who believe that wanting peace with the humans is basically choosing the human side. And that's not true. And it's interesting that they quoted Martin Luther King in this episode, because he was somebody that got accused by some in the Black community of not being as supportive of or down for, Black people and supporting Black people, because he preached an idea of, all of us living together equally, and that there shouldn't be, this separation between any group of people, that we should all come together as one human race. And again, a lot of people understood where he was coming from, but there were some extremes in either corner who felt like it was about choosing sides. And so just reflecting again that type of behavior, and why the X-Men really, outside of course genuinely wanting to search for people, they also of course wanted to show that, yeah, we're still part of the mutant community and we feel this loss personally. So anyway, we see that Emma Frost is still alive. The diamond skin, I knew about that because of her character. It looks like she didn't know that she had that until now, or maybe she did and she just kept it quiet. But either way, she's still alive, and that might be all that they found. We see that Scott was a bit sad about the fact that it looks like Madeline has passed, or at the very least, they cannot find her. And I like that Jean didn't give him any grief about him being upset about it, because it's like losing it's like losing Jean. It is like losing a woman that he loves. And this whole situation is messy. And we saw that Jean and Scott kind of touched on the fact that things have been hard, but I love that Jean just dropped all the different things. She's like, our relationship is full of all kinds of stuff that the average couple would never survive. So like, this is yet another hurdle, probably the most emotionally intricate, but still a hurdle. And if the foundation of love is still there, they'll definitely find their way back. And that's what we heard Scott say, is like, you always came back. Or she said, one of us always did. So yeah, I think that's kind of our signal that they're going to find their way through this somehow. And again, if Madeline is out of the picture, at least for now, then that's going to be a lot easier for Scott to focus. But all the same, messy sitch. But we see that they're doing the cleanup. There's the Beast conversation with the reporter, which I think was really poignant. She's talking, obviously she's coming from a good place. Like, I know her heart was in the right place around, how to cover this and how she's doing her job as a reporter, but also trying to show that she does in fact feel for what's going on with the mutant community. But her wording, it kind of betrayed the fact that there's a blind spot for her as far as how she's perceiving this whole situation. And this often happens between groups, where there's a group that's been oppressed and experienced things, and people who haven't. It's not to say that the people who haven't don't have compassion or empathy, and that they don't think that these things are bad. But when you've never had to go through life in that lens, or have to go through those things, there are blind spots naturally that you just aren't able to see. And it's easy to just assume that your viewpoint is the only viewpoint, or that everyone sees it from your point of view. And when people don't, you're kind of like, well, what do you mean? Like, I don't see that, so that must not be true. And that's where we see Beast, who's usually very cordial and very diplomatic, kind of lose it, because obviously he's been through a lot and he's grieving himself. But he kind of has to bring her around and say, no, like, tolerance is not something we should have to be working for. The oppressed group that has gone through all the ostracism and all the horrible side effects that come with oppression, it's not our job to be out there trying to abate the fears of people while we're going through things that have us scared too, right? Like the mutant community was just attacked viciously. And now before that, they weren't feeling safe. Now they feel extra unsafe. And now you've got people telling them, oh, but don't be upset about it. We need you to contain your emotions about it because now we're uncomfortable, right? Like, again, I don't think that, she clearly didn't mean it like that. I know that what she said to him was true, however, that she believed it to be true. Sorry, let me correct. But I'm glad that B stuck, he stood on business and he's like, no, actually, you need to examine what you meant by that statement because I don't think you understand that we shouldn't be the ones trying to placate the humans right now. It should be that you guys are trying to understand where we're coming from and maybe understand where our fears are coming from. And we can maybe come to an actual place of middle ground when that happens. But now if you're now we're freaking out because they're freaking out, that's just, it's short-sighted to say the least. And so anyways, what he was saying about maybe, Charles was being short-sighted and Magneto wasn't, I don't think that Beast truly believes that. But in this moment, while he's going through a lot of emotions, both highs and lows, I completely understand why he's got to let that part of him kind of vent at the moment. So anyways, I really like that conversation was had. It's an important one. And hopefully it helps some folks to realize what the X-Men's always been trying to show is that it's just about trying to see where other people are coming from. That's how we start to fix a lot of the issues that we deal with in this world, is realizing that we don't have the absolute view of everything. And that if somebody who's part of a group or a background or, whatever that's different from us that we can't relate to, that if they tell us something, just maybe it's true. Maybe, just maybe we try to believe them and listen to them instead of looking at, oh, well, if I didn't see it and experience it, therefore it's not a thing, right? So anyway, we also had the funeral for Gambit earlier on. Some great bars dropped there about how Gambit, he was very hard on himself, but really he was a hero in many ways. And just, I like that the funeral, the things that Kurt said were really, really nice. And then we saw on the flip side that Rogue couldn't go to the funeral because she's still in the anger stage of her grief, understandably. She's out there just wrecking things. And as I said in the episode, that's a way that some of us need to deal with our grief or any negative emotions. Sometimes we just need to do something to not feel. And in her case, it's being destructive, which is not constructive. It's literally the opposite of constructive. But I'm going to give her a pass on this one because she's usually pretty chill. But we know what she was doing. She wasn't just doing it for no reason at all. She was specifically looking for Trask because she needed an outlet for her anger. And she discovered through that, we got Captain America. Hello, cameo. Hello. This is what I love about the whole Marvel verse being under one roof, guys. We're going to get more great cameos. But anyway, her and Cap have a little conversation. Cap's got his own agenda for trying to find Trask. And basically we see that Rogue is hoping they can work together, but we see that Cap's like, yeah, no, hello, big A on my helmet, big flag on my chest. Anything that I do is going to reflect on the larger population. And also Cap's not really a mutant, right? He's not actually, it's weird. He's actually what I would consider to be an anomaly in that way, in that he's had things done to him. And in a way he has mutated. He's like Spider-Man that way. He's someone who's mutated, but he's not actually a natural born mutant. So he's kind of got his foot in both worlds to a degree. But either way, he's got political ties that are around his hands. And he basically lets Rogue know that. And she's like, cool, well, if that's the case, then I'm going to get to where I'm going first, because revenge trumps politics. So I love that she was petty and tossed his shield God knows where, but he can find it. But anyhow, we see that they're going, Trask actually ends up reaching out to the X-Men, and he's basically saying that the attack was not on him. That's not what he did. Yes, he created Master Mold, but he never intended on genocide. Like, that was never his intent. And I think that's a very interesting point to have him and have that whole moment with him, because as we saw them, they were all like, do we want to believe this guy? Like, he literally created machines to take us out. But I think it's important to understand too that villains, as frustrating and angering as they are, to understand humanity and to understand the way that we work and to actually get to a place, as I've said many times on different shows and on this channel, to get to a place where we can ever get to a place where we can start to heal and progress. At some point, we have to start letting go of things and also start to understand why people do what they do. Villains don't often just do things for the sake of doing it. Trask's hatred of mutants was not just born of, I just hate these people. It was born of fear. Fear of being left behind genetically. Fear, a completely unfounded one, but a fear that mutants were going to take over and they were going to kill all the normal people and it's just going to be a world of mutants, right? And he didn't really think, for him, it was more like the more powerful mutants, I guess you could say, were his issue, if that makes sense. Like if I remember what I saw like in some of the comics as well as what I've read about him, it was more like the powerful mutants like the Professor X's and the Rogues and the Storms, etc. Like these mutants that are so powerful that they could like that bring humanity to his knees. That's really what Trask was mostly scared of. It doesn't excuse what he did regardless. Like he still did horrible things. He deserved to be in prison for the rest of his life at a minimum. But I genuinely believe that Trask wasn't out there trying to like find little mutant babies and take them out and stuff. Like it wasn't to that level in his mind. It was more that we need to create a control to ensure that humanity, normal humans, stay on top and mutants are kept in check. And that's not the right way of thinking, but I get it. Like it wasn't like to the point of I want to wipe every mutant off the planet. And that's why he reached out to them and he was like, I really think like you guys need to know the whole story and figure out what's going on because that's not what I want. Like that was never me. And so I get it. I mean, as I said, do I think that it means that he should have necessarily escaped punishment? Do I think that means he deserved absolution? Was I sad that Rogue dropped him off the side of a building? No, right? He still did do a lot of harm. He still hurt a lot of people with his inventions. But I think it's important to understand some of the thinking and the way that a villain's mind works, because that to me is very intriguing about characters overall. But anyway, so that happens. He tells them all to go to where they happen to have him. They find out that the UN's got all sorts of stuff under wraps, which makes sense because of course they're going to have some form of controls or what they perceive to be controls in case the mutants get out of hand. And this is something Magneto's been talking about for some time. And they have their whole moment there where basically Trask, he's feeling bad for himself. He's looking for some type of empathy, but of course, it's not going to come from the X-Men. And he lets them know that Sinister was the person who took his DNA and created what happened, or what the Sentinel that attacked. Rogue drops him off the side of a building, and that actually, his death actually triggers this new form of biological sentinel, I guess one could say, a bio-sentinel, and it's pretty damn good. Like, it wasn't enough to take down the entire, although actually it's not true, it almost did. Cables would save their butt in the end, but I think if they'd had a more coordinated attack, they probably would have been able to take him out. But anyway, we see that that was just a test as far as whoever, I don't know who that guy at the end is, guys. I'm gonna have to look him up. I'm not sure of that character at all, but we see that Sinister is working with somebody that apparently has, I'd say, an electrical signal, because every time he walked around a radio, it went haywire and he could like tune it in himself. So I'm not sure what the kind of power that is, but it's electromagnetic to some degree. So anyway, we find out that's who Sinister is working for, and Sinister is not very happy to be under someone's boot, clearly. But I'm thinking this guy's coming from the future, or he knows how to access the future, because we heard the X-Men say that the tech in that building was way ahead of anything they had already. So my guess is there's someone else future hopping, and maybe it's this guy. But anyway, yeah, Sinister's saying that he thinks that the X-Men should have been wiped out immediately. And this guy's saying, we're going to get there. We just need data so we can make sure, like, these are some of the most powerful mutants on Earth. We figure out how to take them out. There's not going to be many people left to stop us. And then he lets us know that he knows that Charles is still alive. But he assumes that the X-Men know this, which they don't. Or maybe he's just telling Sinister that. I'm not sure. But yeah, he's aware of the fact that Chucky's still out there and he might be on, well, I don't think he knows that he's on his way back at this point. So anyways, I'm thinking that he's going to use that and leak that to the world at large and basically create even more divisions between humans and mutants, because that works for his benefit right now as well too, from the sounds of things. But anyway, a lot in this episode, as I said, so much. Also forgot when I was talking about Rogue that she managed to get her hands on that creep that was in the prison. The one that Jean went into his mind, and whatever she looked at, that freaked her out. Remember, that's where she first saw the Master Mold and something else. And whatever it was enough that scared the crap out of her. I don't think it was just Master Mold. And then we saw that Rogue went and she touched him, and we know that Rogue can get into your head. And she saw something. It flashed too quickly. I'll have to go back and look. But whatever it was, it knocked her on her ass, which does not happen often when she uses her powers. So there is something else there. I don't know what it is, but now Rogue's seen it too. We'll see if she remembers it later when she comes out of it. But yeah, it scared the crap out of her. And after that was done, we see the X-Men found her and she let it all out. She's finally kind of past the anger phase of her grief to a degree. And I'm glad that she had that moment to let that go, and that having the Day of the Dead, her being in Mexico during the Day of the Dead, was fitting considering she didn't get to go to the funeral. So I thought, nice touch there, show. And yeah, then we see that guy who survived, somehow survived Rogue sucking the life out of him. He was taken out by by the same guy that Sinister's working for. So I'm assuming he must have done something to him, because he said, you almost let my surprise out of the bag early. And that's why he took him out. So I'm not sure what he's done to these people, but whatever it is, he gets it. Unless he was no, maybe he's a robot too. Maybe that's it. Maybe he's a robot too. And even though it looked like to us he took him out, maybe he just activated him. We'll have to see in the next episode, I guess, because that's what activated Bolivar, right? Was being his human life being taken out. So, all right. Some things to think about, but yeah, good episode. Like I said, a lot as usual, amazing bars, lots of information given to us, like a lot of information. I think we only have one episode left, so no idea what we're going to do with that one. I feel like we need at least another 5 episodes, honestly and truly. Oh my gosh, and I almost forgot, there was also Roberto effectively telling his parents about his mutation or the fact that he's a mutant. That was such a small part of the episode, I almost forgot about it. But yes, we find out that his mom actually already had an idea. Like they pretty much knew or assumed that there was something up with him. Like either he was a mutant or a pyromaniac. But anyways, it was good at least for him to not have a situation where his family was like treating him like a freak, because that's what he was scared of, that they were going to disown him and kick him out of the family. But she was like, nah, we pretty much figured. But because of how wealthy and powerful they are as a family, she wants him to keep it quiet because she's afraid it's going to affect their business dealings. And it also sounds like she's going to be putting a bit of a tamper on him and on Jubilee's relationship, because obviously people know that Jubilee is an X-Man and also a mutant. So it looks like they're going to have to be undercover lovers, but we'll see how long that goes for, because I have a feeling Jubilee's not going to like being a secret for very long. So we'll just have to see. But yeah, that was, like I said, lots in that episode. So much, but very good as usual. Bars dropped, gauntlet dropped. We now know that something big is happening. Cable showing up at the end, saving everybody, and Jean figuring out who he is. Cable being very, very catty to her. Straight up, get out of my head, you're not her. I'm like, whoa, okay, bro. Like, kind of. She sort of is, though. But I was like, and then she's like, yeah, he's like, well, do we have to skip the reunion, Dad? I'm like, why is there so much resentment? I'm interested to find out, because we know that Madeline put that memory inside of his head, so he knows the explanation that she gave. Now, again, that may not be enough for him. And plus he would have had Bishop around too. So anyway, I've got questions as to why he's such an asshat right now. But I have a feeling it has more to do with what happens in his future than it has to do with his mom, sort of, and his dad. So anyway, we'll have to see. And hopefully we get a little bit more conversations with him in the next episode. But he looks like he's there to stay this time. Anyways, he didn't slip away immediately. So yeah, so much, so good. Enjoyed it a lot. I know I probably missed some things. I'm sure you guys will let me know in the comments. You've been great with filling in the blanks for me. I appreciate it so much. I hope you enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please show some love to this video, and I will see you in the next one.